So I have to start off by telling you that it's taken me 3 years to hit that little red record button down at the bottom and to make this video. I'm so nervous, have so much anxiety over it, but I know this is exactly what I need to be doing. So I made a decision last night after I had a major meltdown and breakdown, and I've had many of them over the last 3 years. But last night, again, this overwhelming feeling came to me of, you need to make this happen. This is where you're supposed to be. This is what you're supposed to be doing. So here I am today making this video and putting it out there for all to see. Nervous. So why am I making this video? The reason behind this video all stemmed from when I lost my husband in 2018. He was in the ICU for a week, and then I had to make the painful decision to take him off life support. And ever since that day, my life has never been the same, nor will it ever be the same again. And I turned to everything under the sun to try to heal myself. I went to religion. I went to drinking myself to the bottom of every bottle I could get in my hand until I pass out and I don't feel anything. I went to counseling. I went to deciding that no one understands and I need to turn inward and keep everything to myself and bottled up. And then I had a couple moments over the last 3 years that I contemplated suicide. Not saying that because I'm proud of it at all, because honestly I'm not, but it's the truth. It's real and it's life. And it was hard. It still is very hard to get through going through something like that. Losing a spouse. I know everyone goes through it eventually. You typically think of when you have to come to that time in your life of losing a spouse, it's when you're older and you've had a whole life with them and it's peaceful while they sleep, and it just doesn't always work out that way. Mine was very traumatic, like so many others. And I've been reeling with that. And I've been trying to figure out what I can do to heal myself and to get myself past that point of hurting all the time. And I can tell you that it has gotten easier over the last 3 years. The first year, I pretty much bawled myself to sleep. And when I say bawl, it's the ugly face bawl, and it was the questioning God of why is this happening to me? Why am I alone? We had no kids together, and so I was alone. After the funeral, everyone kind of went away, and I didn't have kids in the house to focus on and anyone else there. And as anyone that's lost someone knows, people tend to get back to their lives, which is a completely normal behavior for other people to get back to their lives. But for the person that lost someone, there is no back to the same life. And we are left trying to navigate what our new life is going to be. And so it was very exhausting, and it created major anxiety in me, which I have still to this day. I hate it, but it's one of those things. But what I realized also is that when someone passes, and you see this, and all of you watching this right now can probably say the same thing of, they know people that have passed, and when it first happens, you know, that there's a lot of attention around that person and, you know, saying how sorry they are and helping out in any way. And then after so long, the person that passed rarely gets talked about. It gets rarely brought up. And for the most part, it's because people don't want to hurt you by bringing it up, because in their eyes, they think by bringing up their name or a story that it's going to send you into a breakdown. And there's so many different things out there that are just wrong and just misinformed, and it's hard to go through it alone, and it's hard to go through it when you have people around you all the time. Unless you've experienced it yourself, you can't fully relate to how it feels. Even all the friends I have now that are widows and widowers, talking with them, even with us having a joint horrible thing that's happened in our lives of losing a spouse, all of our stories are different. Some of them have been married for years and years, over 20 plus years. Some have been married less than a year. Some had kids together, some didn't have kids together. You know, some of them were their soulmates, and some of them, they weren't really getting along. No one really knows what's going on between you and your spouse except for you and your spouse. And so when someone passes, you're left to internalize all of that and to figure that out. And some people get uncomfortable with you talking about it a lot or posting about it on social media because they don't know what to say and they don't know how to react to it. And in their eyes, and I have been told this, that, you know, it's been 3+ years. You know, why have you not moved on? Why are you not more healed? It doesn't work that way. So all of these things I'm talking about, I'm going to get into further videos down the road. But the reason for the one today is it was a few months after John passed that I got this prompting, and I call it a prompting because I do believe in God, and I know without a fact that He has guided me throughout this and has been there. Some people say, how can you say that when He took John? And believe me, I went through that stage. Does it mean I'm the most religious person? No, I'm not. I probably could be a lot better at it, but I do believe in God, and I will never deny that. And I will never deny His presence in my life, and I'm thankful for that. However, when I started getting these promptings a few months after, it was I needed to start sharing my story. I needed to start putting it out there about grief and letting people understand it, and to help people of how to interact with someone that has grief or has gone through that, because it's a very lonely feeling when you don't feel like you have someone that understands what you're going through. So I started getting this prompting, started putting things together for what I wanted this, I want to say business, but it's more of a calling, if you will, to help others. So what I did is I started putting it together and was all excited about it and getting it started and do it. And then life happened. And the realization of me having to work all the time to pay my bills and not having the energy at the end of the day to work on it. And it's really taken a toll on me because I've really wanted to do this for a long time. So I have decided now that I am going to do this, and there's a lot of other exciting things that are happening right now that are allowing me to do this. One of the things that is happening is I met an amazing man. Told you I'm not going to get teary-eyed. I truly thought that when John came into my life that he was one of a kind. And after losing John, I truly felt like there's no way that God would ever put someone in my life of that caliber again. Because how is that fair? How would that be fair for me to have two in a lifetime, and where others in life may not get the chance at one? But I'm here to tell you that this man came into my life, and it hasn't been easy on him at all. I am not an easy one to deal with all of the grief and all of the anxiety I have. And he stayed, and he supported me, and he's loved me, and he allows me to be me. He allows me to speak about things when I need to. And I don't always want to communicate, believe me. I'm very much in that mode where I want to just shut everyone out and I want to be left alone and I don't want to talk about my feelings. And he reminds me that communication is key and I need to communicate these things, and he helps me through them. So I honestly cannot say enough good about him and how truly thankful I am that he's come into my life. With that being said, most of you also know that I have a cleaning business that I run, that I've ran for years. I just restarted it a few years ago. I had one years ago that I ran for like 12 years. And then I went back to the corporate world and then started back with a cleaning business after John passed, to make ends meet. And it's done really well. And I have the most amazing clients, honestly. And a lot of them have become friends. And that's kind of what I've done. And so I've kind of put this other business on hold, and I just didn't have the ability to be able to do it. So, some big, I'm trying to think of the right word to use, and this is what happens when it's not scripted. Some big developments have happened, and I have made the decision to move to Montana with Lance, the end of April. So with that being said, we are moving up there together. We will be living in a home up there and building in the near future, but not building right away. He is going to be doing a business up there himself, and it gives me the opportunity to focus fully on this that I've been wanting to do and have been prompted to do, and I am so excited for that. It's kind of crazy how it all worked out, because I remember being in elementary school and they had you do a report on a state. You got to pick any state that you wanted and you had to do a report on it. And I chose Montana. I remember this so clearly. I chose it because of the size, and it, there were so many other things the reasons why I chose it. And so I looked into it and I did my report. And ever since then, as a little kid, I always thought I want to end up in Montana. That is where I want to live. And the funny part is that when John came into my life, he was from Wyoming. And I've been to Jackson Hole, and that's a pretty area. Star Valley is a beautiful area, which is where he's from, John. And I thought, okay, it might not be Montana. It's close to Montana, but it's not Montana. But Wyoming will work, I guess. And so that's the frame of mind, because we were going to move up there eventually one day. And so it's crazy that I meet this other guy, Lance, and in our talkings, back and forth, and we're talking about where we're from and this and that, and he tells me Montana, and then he tells me that he wants to move back up there. He wants to move back home and had plans to. And then the conversation turned, obviously this is not on the first date, so everyone calm down. But we had that conversation of, would I ever want to move up there? And it just felt so surreal that it was all falling into place, because not only is it Montana, because don't get me wrong, even if it's Montana, it's great. I would not be moving up there with someone if I was not truly wanting to be with that person, and I do. So it's just crazy how life works out. And with that being said, I'm closing my business down here, giving notice to my landlords, and my family and a few close friends and that know that I'm moving, but most people don't. And I'm packing up and moving the end of April and starting this new adventure with this new amazing man. And I can tell you, it's been stressful and it's been hard, and I've had so much anxiety, because picking up and moving away from your friends and family and business and going up there, and it's a small town that we're moving to. I think there's like 220 people, 220. The city I live in now has over 80,000 people. You literally can drive for 5 minutes any direction and have oodles of things that you need. And up there, it's more of like an hour drive to get to where you can go. It's not like you can just run out to the grocery store. And I've always wanted that lifestyle. I've always wanted that peace and that calmness that comes with that life. But at the same time, when you've been living here in, you know, this population and having all those conveniences, it's going to be an adjustment. But I'm super excited to do it. The other thing with this business is that I'm starting, and this calling is, when I was thinking about doing it, I wanted to think of something that gave hope that, you know, there's a lot of grief in the world, and we need to normalize grief, and we need to, you know, talk about it and make sure that everyone going through it understands, you know, that we're there for them. And how do we do that in the best way? And how can we talk to each other about it? And the thought came to my mind of A Reason to Hope. And that is the name that I've chosen. A Reason to Hope is what I've started. And you see this tree back here, the tree of life. If you've been to my house, you see it everywhere. I was drawn to it when I was coming up with the logo for this adventure because of the meaning. And this is the only thing that's going to be scripted this entire time. I had to print this out because I knew I would butcher it if I didn't. But the reason why I picked the tree of life for the logo for this adventure is because of its meaning. It's a symbol of personal growth, strength, and beauty. The tree of life symbol represents our personal development, uniqueness, and individual beauty. Just as the branches of a tree strengthen and grow upwards to the sky, we too grow stronger, striving for greater knowledge, wisdom, and new experiences as we move through this life. I can't agree more. I love this, and it's given me inspiration. It's given me hope. And I know that I've developed personally through all of this, and it's just like a pillar of light for me. So I apologize again, this video is so long, but I just kind of wanted to get it out there of what it's about and what I'm going to be doing and all this exciting news. The other videos that I will be doing, my goal is to do 2 to 3 a week. I'm hoping I can get that many in, especially, you know, with the move and everything. But the other thing that I want to do is I want to take all of you on this journey with me and us, and what it's like to move out of state and all the different things that we have to go through. And I did a video the other day. I haven't posted it yet, but it was something that Lance did to honor John, and it is absolutely amazing. And so I will post that one here in the future, and most of those are shorter videos. So I would love for you to share this with anyone, to keep watching for updates, and just go out there and live your life and love every moment, because you never know. You truly never know when you'll be called back. So love to you all until next time.